Welcome to the weekly review of the markets here. You're looking at a daily chart of the NASDAQ, and you can see these. The start of the third leg down here is it had a top here of 13,181 on August 16th. Had a little 4-day mini rally, and then the inflation data came in hot, and it was down 600 points. This bearish island reversal had a little dead cat bounce, then followed through to the downside. So that 13% is a nice little start to this third leg down. You can see from November to March had a nice downtrend, a little bear market rally, tried to get up to the 200, then was rejected like Matambo, and it had a nice another downtrend, leg down more than 20%, had a summer rally of about 10 weeks. And now we're 13% down on our way to the third leg down here. So we have a good start on that. Anyway, I don't trade NASDAQ, but it's just nice to have the tailwind here at your back, which we don't. We have headwinds, so there's very few stocks to pick. ENPH is one that I like. You can see that it's just in this consolidation period, had a nice gap up on earnings and holding its gains rather nicely. It's above the 21, above the 10. So any stock above the 10 EMA is doing well in this market. And solar is the top industry group for solar, top stock in the top group. This one's performing really well. Gapped out on earnings back in July. I believe it was on July 28th. More than 15% on 374% above average daily volume. So it's holding its gains and just respecting its moving averages. You could see this kind of a base on base pattern before the breakout. So First Solar looks good, but you can't just buy any solar stock because there's laggards in this group. ARRY, definitely a laggard, traded down to its 50 simple moving average. Look at all this volume here. So it's a stock picker's market, and if you're in the solar group, you want to be in phase. First Solar, they're the two leaders right now. Let's take a look at the renewable group. I like this group. Constellation IPO base breakout, and now it's respecting its moving averages, so that looks really nice. There you see the IPO base and the breakout on the weekly chart. Montauk is another one that I like. Not quite as explosive as Constellation, but this one had a nice little base here, trying to break out, pulled back to the 21, and it found support here. So any stock above the 21 doing good in this tape for sure. All right, I'm going to move on from the renewables. I'm going to go to my favorite group is the biotech group. And you can see this is Catalyst. They had won a patent lawsuit. They didn't win. They just had a better expected result from a patent lawsuit. And ever since it's been trading higher. Now it went into a small cap S&P 600 index. So there was some rebalancing here. So we'll see if this thing kind of mellows out here around the 21. We'll see. Vertex is another one that I like in the group. And if you look at the weekly, I'm going to show you the weekly on all these, but it's just a long base. This has been a couple years in the making. So I'm thinking once Vertex gets above this 300 area, it's going to have a nice move. Rhythm is another one that I'm looking at here. You can see on the weekly, these are biotechs, outhouse or penthouse, right? This thing had a real hard time, down 31% in a week, 24%. So these things can be tough, but when they're working for you, when you're in the penthouse, it's real nice. Some people might think this is a high tight flag, call it whatever you want. There's nothing really tight about it, but as long as it's holding its gains above this 22 area, this thing looks pretty good. They just did a offering last week. So anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on the biotechs today because I want to move on to another group, the semiconductors. ON Semiconductor, and you can see this is or on semi. ON is a ticker. Nice consolidation period. This thing's got the uptrending 200 and the 50, and it closed there right as the 21 and the 10 merge. Sounds like a freeway, huh? Yeah, right there. Right just 0.2% above the 21. So that one looks good. Global Foundries is another one that's just started to get its 200 simple moving average, but you can see the upsloping 10, 21, and 50. This one's holding its gains. Right, it's just a tick below the 21. So Global Foundries looks okay. I mean, it's a tough market. Wolf had broke out on earnings here, and it's holding its gains as well. You can see it's just kind of in a consolidation period for a long time. It's hard for any stocks in this current market to really, sustain any type of gains. But any stock above the 21 is looking good. It's 8.7% above its 21 EMA. The oil stocks, I didn't want to, but I had to. You could see Devon's my favorite. First of all, we're looking at Devon, but it's had a nice 2.5-year run. So, you're wondering when these things are going to run out of gas, no pun intended. But had a nice run, pulled back, and now it's formed this little cup-shaped base. It's either going to, break to the upside, make new highs, or break down. But when I refer to oil stocks, I've got to refer to Chevron because it has, all the stages. It had stage 1, then this nice run, stage 2, then a stage 3 pattern, and it fell out on a stage 4 decline, but is just being real stubborn and has formed this base here. So either this is going to make new highs or it breaks down. I hope it breaks down because, gas is inflationary and they've had a nice run, so they need to calm down. The pipeline stocks are doing great. Cheniere here, but you can see 2.5 years just straight up. You don't have to hold it very long to make money. And this one's trading above its 21 as well. It had a really good week. Friday, high volume sell-off, but it had a nice run. I want to take a look at some of the pollution stocks. Waste management is one. This one's doing really well. The pollution control, or trash, I call it the Tony Soprano trade. The garbage trade, there's money, there's cash and trash, and you could see that on Friday it did sell off on the quad witching day. And it's well below its 21 now, huh? Oh, 0.9%. Yeah, 1% below. Anyway, Clean Harbors is another one in this group that's doing well. You can see the base on base pattern, or the Dolly Parton pattern, and it's just holding its gains. Friday was a tough day. This one was down more than 3.5%. But it's still holding near its 21 EMA. And Waste Connections is another one that looks good. They all look pretty similar. These are not fast-moving stocks, but you can see the consolidation, the base on base pattern. And this one's holding its gains as well in trading right at its 10 EMA. So that's really good for this market. A couple of random stocks I want to take a look at that have been holding up. You can see Lantheus in 2022 has had a great year. I mean, what bear market, right? Gapped up a couple times on earnings and holding its gains. This one traded down to its 50 simple moving average on Friday, bounced a little bit. SWAV, Shockwave. This one is another one. You got to look at the weekly here. Nice consolidation, then the breakout, and it's holding its gains. That's all it's doing, is holding gains here in this market. It's you can't really expect stocks to be ripping higher when the market's selling off like this. And the last one that I want to look at is Supermicro. And this one, you got to look at the weekly. Consolidation, then the breakout. You can see the right side of this base. It's too vertical and it needs to calm down. And this thing went straight up. So let it trade sideways for a little bit and let the moving averages catch up. This thing still looks fine to me. Anyway, that's it for the weekly review. We never give up.